Let's go, let's go. What is going on, everybody? It is Friday, March 14th. New York session is finally coming to a close. And man, I'll be the first to admit, we had some pretty fucking good calls yesterday, right? If y'all didn't see the video from yesterday, definitely go check it out. Because pretty much exactly as I mapped everything out is exactly what happened. Now, again, for me, I wasn't in trades on Bitcoin, on Sol, on XRP, on anything. I did, and I'll be the first to admit, I broke my own rule. I wasn't supposed to trade yesterday. I said I wasn't going to trade yesterday, but I took an ETH trade in London session, and we'll get to that later. I'll let you know how that one went. But for now, we're going to go ahead and take a look at everything that we were looking at yesterday. So again, when we were recording yesterday, I believe we were forming this candle here on the 4 hour, if I'm not mistaken. We might have been here, one of these two candles, right? And basically what I was saying is that, at this point, this is on the 4 hour. At this point, if you wanted to take a trade, what I would have been looking for is some sort of resistance to be formed and then price to break above resistance high, or if we were able to continue breaking above 4 hour highs and respecting 4 hour lows, then we could probably push up towards the 84,000 area. And what I wanted to see in order to be bullish going into next week was price to close above or around the 84,500 area. And as you see, we are sitting right here at 84,150. So just like yesterday, we'll go ahead and start with the top down. I'll go to the daily just so it's a little bit more clear. And I'll explain why I was looking for what I was looking for, right? So on the daily time frame, we had created support around here at around 78,400 area. We had come down, spiked that area, moved away, retested it, broke below, and then closed above bullish, right? So basically what I was saying was, because this candle had already formed here. This white daily candle had already formed by the time I was recording yesterday. So we were barely starting to create this candle here and moving up. I think we were at like 81,000, 82,000, maybe like 81,500, something like that. Okay, so we had created this support, and at the time, this daily high was the resistance area. This daily high, these two daily highs, I talked about how we pushed up here and we were unable to close above. We closed back below resistance, pushed above, closed back below, and came down. So what I said, what I wanted to see was over Friday's price action, which I believe we were going to get a small little scam pump going into the weekend, because that's just how things typically happen. I wanted to see us close above the 84,000. I believe what I said was 84,400 would make me a little bit more comfortable. And as you can see right now, we're not quite there. We are still closing. At this point, we are still below these two daily closes, or these two daily highs, which if we close below here, could signal that we're just going to continue ranging unless we are to break this now, Friday's daily high. We would have to break Friday's daily high and close above it in order to remain bullish going into next week. We'll see how weekend PA plays out. It's typically less liquid, so you can get some moves. We'll have to see. But yeah, so it basically came and did exactly what I wanted to. It came and took out the previous daily high. If we drop down onto a 4 hour, we're now respecting this high, kind of. Again, we're kind of dipping below it. We need to close back above yellow line, in my opinion. We need to close above yellow line around 84,400. It wouldn't necessarily be bad to close. I wouldn't want to see it close below 84K, but it wouldn't necessarily be terrible to close up this way either. It just depends, again, on how the weekend plays out. But now that we have formed a new range, right, we obviously came in, and this was a pretty solid move. This was a 3% move. Let's see. No, this was almost a 4% move. to the upside. $3,000 move there. So if you caught that, congratulations. Funny enough, I was looking at this, and because I saw, I was watching Bitcoin pump during London session. I was thinking, obviously, Bitcoin is going to pump, things are going to follow, right? Well, I was looking at Ethereum, and again, we'll get into it later, but Ethereum is probably the only outlier of all the rest of the coins from last night, and naturally it was the position that I was in. So we'll get to talking about that, but for now, again, pushed above here. We got some really good momentum. This is really good momentum to the upside. Now, in order for us to remain bullish, we'll draw our new zone, right? We've created a new zone. We came still, we're back testing this breakdown area, and we're rejecting it right now, right? So whether we're gonna come and fill all these candles, because this is a clean run of blue candles, right? It's a clean run of daily candles. Whether we're gonna come and run these candles, or maybe we run a couple of them, maybe we come back down and take this flat open before basing out and trying to retest up here. Or maybe we just, do something like this where we range here over the weekend, and then Monday comes and we can get a push up. Why is my stuff tweaking out right now? We can get a push up, and that would lead us up into the $87,000, $88,000 area. Come on, take out these highs and work our way up, maybe even into the 90,000 area. So that remains to be seen. We'll have to see how PA plays out. But for now, we're creating a resistance here. Obviously, we have higher time frame support on the 4-hour way down here at 80K. I would not anticipate price to come back down here immediately. And if it does come back down here, it's probably not a good thing. Especially if it breaks and closes below here. So we'll go ahead and drop down to the 1 hour now. So we got our higher time frame zones marked out. I'm gonna drop down to the 1 hour. As you can see, there's not really you could say there's maybe some resistance, or there's some support to be found here. Maybe there's some support to be found here, but this is just not really clean in my opinion, right? So we don't really have any clean support to be looking at this moment, so we just have to wait. We just have to wait for support to be created in a way that we want to see it created. Now, whether that comes down again and takes out these candles, maybe takes out some of these, and then continues to base out over the weekend and we get a push up, we'll see. That would be what I would prefer to see. I would prefer to see a base created over the weekend, and then we can look to go long at the start of next week. All right. And it actually came pretty much, I even said this was minor resistance. I didn't know if this $85,000 resistance was going to get tagged and whether it was going to respect it or not, but it actually basically smacked almost to the pip into it and then has rejected it off so far. So that's pretty good. Good signs that all the levels are respecting, are being respected. Price is respecting really important levels, right? So that's a good thing to see. Okay, so yeah, I mean, right now at this point, there's nothing really to do. It is, again, it's the weekend, so we're not looking to trade. We're not gonna trade. Not trading. We'll wait for Sunday, see what Sunday's looking like. Maybe we can get some trades Sunday. Preferably, I'd rather wait until Monday, see if we can get either a respect of Sunday's low and push Sunday's highs on Monday, or we'll push Sunday's highs first and maybe see if we can take a short back towards Sunday's low. We'll have to see. We'll see how everything is marking up. I'm not gonna try and be a forecaster because it's there's no saying what's gonna happen until it happens. You know what I mean? So at this point, we're just waiting. See if we can respect this area support. Maybe we pull down a little bit lower. I wouldn't be surprised again to see it, even if it comes down like this and just takes some of this liquidity and recovers this area. Regardless, we want to see price continue to hover in this upper area. As long as it does that, It's looking pretty good. Looking pretty good. I think next week is going to be setting up for some really, really nice trades to be taken. If you were in on this, again, on a lower time frame, you could have taken the trade after this resistance was formed here, right? You had resistance formed again, and then you had price breakthrough and a strong candle close above this resistance. That could have been a trigger for you to go long up to these highs. There's a little bit of rough sledding along the way, but not terrible, honestly. I feel like it kind of moved through that pretty easily. Outside of this one, 9 a.m. candle, New York Open is always gonna, be a clusterfuck. So you kind of got to wait for the New York Open candle to finish out and see where you go from there. And if you did that, you probably made some really good profits. So congratulations. So that's Bitcoin. Again, target hit exactly pretty much to the pip where I anticipated that we would want to see it go, and where I wanted to see price react in order to develop a bias for next week. So again, we still had 3 days until the week finishes, so we'll have to see how the rest of the PA plays out. But good job if y'all caught that trade. Either way, it was a good call. It was a good call. All right, so we'll go ahead and jump into ETH. Let me go ahead and I'll remove everything. Again, start on the daily time frame. Remember, we had daily driving down into this area, into the 1750 area, based out, formed a really nice base here. Okay, formed some really, really good support. And of course we have resistance, which of course ETH has not broken resistance, because it doesn't break resistance. It only forms resistance and goes lower because it is going to zero, like the piece of shit coin it is. It might not go to zero, but it is a piece of shit. Maybe I'm biased. So we had this support formed, right? On the daily. We drop down to the 4 hour. We got almost exactly like what we wanted to see. You can kind of adjust this. You can adjust this to your liking. I like to adjust it to the candle closes. Those are the most important for me. Yeah. So right now, remember, I told y'all, we can't take a trade in the middle of nowhere, right? At this point, you're in no man's land. There's not really clean price action. You could have taken a trade that would have gotten you maybe up to the 4 hour highs. But until we cleared 1960, or we closed above the 1960 area, it was not really too much interesting happened. Now, I say that, but again, I did enter the trade on ETH during London session, and I will drop down to the 1 hour to kind of explain exactly why I did that. And we're starting to form a resistance here, so this is not, this is not really a respectable resistance to me. This is the area of resistance that we really got to pay attention to. So I wouldn't even be looking to trade this back down. I would just be looking to see if we can get a candle close up higher, either by the end of the week or to start next week, right? Otherwise, I'm not looking to short. I wouldn't be taking any trades on ETH. I'm never taking a trade on ETH again, as a matter of fact. Came to that conclusion last night as well. But I'll explain why. So we dropped down to we're on the 4 hour now. So we dropped down to the 1 hour. Obviously, you can see that we're just we're in this range. We're just moving sideways, right? Just moving sideways. Price has not gone anywhere. So no trend, just trading the range. Now we dropped down to the 1 hour, and now again, I'll explain why I got into this trade. So I was here, London session, 3 a.m., right? I was watching this. I had seen ETH respecting these support areas. This was my thing. It was respecting these support areas, and even though it was wicking down, we had no significant candle body closes down here. So when I saw this candle close, and then I saw this candle close at 4, this 5 a.m. candle, as soon as it dropped down here and then broke back above its high at 1895, I went long, anticipating that we would move to 1923. Okay. Now, granted, this was early in the morning, right? So this is actually, it was like London into pre-New York. So 5 a.m. I was in this trade. I got in here. I had my stop loss set at 1887 initially, right? So I watched this candle form, and I didn't really like how this candle formed because it was so low, or it was so small. It was not a strong candle, and it hadn't broken this high. So at that point, I was already like, okay, well, I'm going to go ahead and, I'm calling it a night, getting ready for bed or whatever. So I moved my stop loss pretty much to about break even. It was at 1894, I think. It was like 1894. On my exchange, I didn't get stopped out here, and I didn't even get stopped out here. Crazy enough. Maybe it was the spread, maybe it was, I don't know. But I didn't get stopped out literally until this candle at New York Open. And if you notice, look at this candle. Look at how deep this candle came. All the way down. It took all of this liquidity, all of this, and then reversed up and went to hit target, right? So it literally stopped me out. I think I literally only lost like maybe $15 on it because of how tight my stop loss had been, because I was going to sleep and because I simply didn't trust Ethereum. Like, I simply didn't trust Ethereum. And I was right not to, because it's a piece of shit AIDS ass coin. And it did exactly what I anticipated it might. So if you go look at Bitcoin, we can look at Bitcoin. This 1 hour candle never even came back close to entry. The entry would have been similar to entering or like here or here, right? So hardly came back to entry. It may have come back to entry. Even XRP, you look at it, nothing. Even Solana, you look at it, nothing crazy. Ethereum is the only one that got slipped all the way down to 1878. It is absolutely insane that this happened on this chart alone. And it's because it's so heavily manipulated by exchanges, right? Like Binance, Binance works with Wintermute and works with Jump Crypto, and they send their assets in to manipulate the market, to force sell pressure, get people stopped out, and then they lift the sell pressure and move price the direction that they initially wanted to. And that's exactly what happened here, right? This was a massive scam wick, and it scammed me. So needless to say, ETH is never going to be on my target, on my list of trading assets again. It'll be something I simply watch. I will never trade this asset ever again. It's not even an asset. At this point, it's just a cancer, right? So came back, stopped me out, and then eventually went on to hit my take profit, which I had my take profit at 1925, above the 4 hour high, but not too high because I didn't think that it was even going to get up this far. And it didn't. It got to about 1940 before now it's, kind of settling off. So at this point, ETH is creating a resistance here. Again, this is not a clean resistance. This is not a clean, this is not clean price action for me. So until we're able to close price above this area, above 1960s, we get a strong close above 1950, 1960. I'm not looking for anything positive on ETH. And even if we were to do that, it'd probably be a negative thing because ETH is just cancerous to the industry, So yeah, would have been a good trade if not for the manipulation and all that jazz. It is what it is. I'm not gonna fret on it. I took a chance on it, and that's the last chance I'll take. So it is what it is, right? But we still got the move we were looking for. The principles still played out the same. And yeah, it is what it is. So on a high time frame, looking for future trades, if you're looking for future trades or whether you're looking to invest in ETH long term, I'm not telling you to do either of those things. Not financial advice ever. I'm just telling you what I'm looking for. So basically what I want to look for now is ETH to, hold this range and see if we can get some closes up here and get a move to the upside. Whether it comes this high or whether we get rejected in these areas, who knows? There's a lot of rejection to be had. All right. But otherwise, trade actually played out pretty much exactly how we thought it was going to. Okay, so now there's nothing to do but wait. You just wait. Again, sit on your hands, do nothing. Right? Okay, so Solana, we'll go ahead and go down to Solana. Let me erase everything here. Daily. Solana's looking really good, actually. This is a really, really good, really, really good price action. So this is what we wanted to ideally see out of ETH and really out of Bitcoin. If Bitcoin can close a little bit higher the way Solana is closing here, this would be ideal for ETH or for Bitcoin to close something up here like this. So all right, so we had support being formed here around $116. Obviously, we moved up, took this high, but we closed back below here. This is a very weak candle close, so there's no confirmation yet. Then we had our Thursday candle closed bearish, and if we drop down, you can see obviously that we created another support. So I'll move the support over to here just because this now looks like more support, and this is a deviation or throw under, I should say. If we go down to the 4 hour, see, it's pretty good support being created here, right? Now, similar principle. Again, all these look very similar. Once Solana broke this candle's high, that could have triggered you along. Because technically, you know, we created a bullish candle on support, broke bullish candle highs, and continued moving, right? Now, really the trigger to go long, a strong trigger to go long wouldn't have been until this candle here because of how strong this candle closed, right? This was a very weak candle close here, and the London session candle was really strong. And then you had obviously New York, the 7 a.m. to 11 New York London crossover was able to, with volume, push price above 126.50 and push it all the way to take out these highs. Right? As you can see, this was our area of resistance. We even pushed above and we retested this area of resistance and created support here on a lower time frame. As you can see, this wick. This wick is lower time frame support being created. So it did exactly what we wanted to see. It literally did exactly what we wanted to see. And in our last video, I said if we got to close above $130, then we could look to push towards 140, maybe even the $152 area, depending on how next week is looking. We still have this area act as a area of resistance. Right, and right now we're creating new resistance in anticipation of this area holding. Right, we want to see price hold above the yellow line, whether it just comes like this and ranges over the weekend, and we can look to go long at the start of next week towards the $140 area. I don't know why my computer is lagging so bad. I'm not even joking you, I'm 3 inches from my router and my modem. And they're hardwired. And still this lags. Our internet here is absolutely deplorable. I absolutely hate it. And I can't get any other. The worst part is I can't get any other service. Like the internet that we have is the only service offered. It's disgusting. Anyway. We had a really good move from here up. Again, this is a 7% move, nearly a 7% move. That was really a really good move. If you took the trade here, again, you had little resistance. You had open air basically up until about 130, 128, 129 area. Feeling frisky, you could have taken it to the highs. I probably would have cut right here at the highs had I been in the trade, but I wasn't. So, right. If you were though, congratulations. All right, so drop down to the 1 hour. Again, you see we completely even on the 1 hour, this is so clean, man. On the 1 hour, this trade was so clean. You had support formed. You had candles breaking above these candle highs and respecting lows. And then you had the push up. Now what we're doing is we're forming resistance over here at this minor resistance area. And we're basically just basing out. So we'll see how we base out, if we're able to hold this $130 level, and see if maybe next week we can get a push up into the $140 region. Right. Until then, we sit on our hands. We want to see good candles forming. We want to see bullish candles forming on support during high volume times, right? The thing is that you can get candles forming on support. You can get, candles forming the way you want them to look. But if they're not being formed during times of high volume, then there's no point, right? There's no point in taking a trade. So you wait for your correct session, you wait for time, and wait for volume. That's the only thing that is going to propel your trade in the direction that you want it. Volume and time, right? So with that being said, we just wait, see what the weekend develops like, see what Sunday, Monday has to offer. Okay. So Sol, good trade. It was a really good trade. And I really love the fact that it is, if we can close above $131, that looks really, really, really good for bullish scenario next week. Right. All right. So now we're done with that. I mean, this just looks really great. This is excellent. This is really excellent. We could even push into the $150 area, honestly, next week. This looks really great. Okay. So then we'll go to XRP. This one is kind of, man, we still got the lines drawn out and everything from yesterday. On this one, let me just go ahead and remove. Start from the daily. Again, just like everything else, we had support form down here. And this is a very, very important level, right? $2 is an extremely important area. You can see how many times it's been tested, how many times prices tried to break below it and not been able to. So really respecting this $2 region. And now we've pushed above these highs. We've pushed above this bullish high. We haven't created any resistance on a higher time frame, so I would like to see that created. I want to see some resistance created, and then if we can get price to push above resistance, we can continue pushing up to the upside. But on the daily, so we got our next area of resistance on the daily time frame, technically speaking, is at about $2.60. On the lower time frame, however, which we'll drop down to, we have some more to the story unfolding, right? So on the 4 hour, wow, this actually pushed exactly to where I said it might. Literally, like, again, almost to the pip. I thought if we got up here and we started stalling, we could try and short it. If we got up towards the 234 area and started stalling, we short it. However, if we pushed and started forming strong candle closes above this area, above this high, then I thought that we could base out and continue pushing, and we have room to push up, towards 254. It's kind of muddy, but this here is a pretty clean candle range, right? If y'all can see that, it's pretty clean candle range. Okay, so even when we were down here, we had our support. Told you we had support being created here. And even though this candle technically here is creating what is called a shooting star, which is technically a reversal pattern to the downside, I literally said I did not like the fact that it closed above this area. If price had even closed a little bit lower, around $2.22, I would have had more conviction in the fact that it could push lower. But because of all of this turbulence, we'll call it turbulence, all of this turbulence to the downside, I didn't think that it was a good time to short, right? I didn't think that this was a good short to take. So I said the best thing to do is just wait. Either you're gonna wait and you see this candle high being broken and you can look to take a short scalp, up to the 237 to 240 area, or you simply just wait and don't do anything and wait for cleaner price action to develop, which is what I was personally doing for XRP. And you can see while it did grind up, it wasn't really like, it wasn't a clean move. It wasn't an easy move to take. It went through a lot of turbulence, and now we're forming resistance here at this really strong resistance level. So we'll see whether we're going to hold this area here and start to break up, and then we can break up this way, or whether we're going to fake like this and kind of maybe take these highs here and break down. We'll have to wait and see. All right, but on a higher time frame, XRP is looking really good. And I told y'all, everybody's going to hate that XRP looks so strong against the rest of the market, and they do. They hate it, absolutely. So now the only thing that you do have positive going for you on a lower time frame basis is the fact that we got this clean run of bullish candles. We have a failure of this high. We have a small body candle, and then now if this 4-hour candle can finish below here, technically would be a good trade to move down. However, without volume, there's no trade to take, so I wouldn't even be looking at it if I were anybody else. I'm personally not looking at it at all. I'm not, at this point, I'm just not interested in trying to short. Shorting is annoying and difficult, and your stops get run often, especially if you're no longer in a downtrend, which we are not. We are consolidating, so it's very easy to get wicked out, stopped out on shorts. So I'm just personally not looking for anything. What I want to see is price develop bullish in this area again, and see if we can get some closes above here, and see if we can take some price a little bit higher. How much higher it's gonna go is who knows. All right, but all in all, man, I felt like those were all of the analyses that we did yesterday pretty much all hit target with little hiccup. As a matter of fact, they all hit target with little hiccup outside of Ethereum. So yeah, man, it was a great week. It was definitely a great week for scalping. If you are a scalper, if you're a swing trader, you had some really good entries on low time frames. If you're technically looking at these, like this hammer that was created was a good trade to take, even though it came back and retested where you would have entered, maybe would have stopped you out. Maybe it doesn't. It depends on your personal risk management strategy. But at the very least, you could have got a move from 79,900 up to about 82,000 before you had any turbulence, and then it based out, came back, retested support, and just flew to the upside. So if you caught that, good for you. Those are really good trades to take. It was a really good setup. And yeah, this week was really good for scalpers. Week was very, 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 very good for scalpers. Hopefully we can start getting into some long and hold territories. That would be ideal. If Bitcoin can break here and hold above here, I really think that we can push up towards the 90,000 area, at least towards 90K. I wouldn't be surprised to see it come up here and maybe it, stalls out here and fails and we just range or something like that. Yet to be seen, but that's what I'm looking for. I want to see price accept above here. Like I said yesterday, we want to see price accept above 84,500 or the 85,000 area, and then we can look to take trades along. Right? So cool. All right, that is going to do it for me. I'm not going to hold y'all for too long. It is already the end of the trading week. Technically, New York session has closed now. It is 4:30. We are wrapping up, coming down to the daily close here in about an hour and a half. Yeah, man, I'll be back Sunday to take a look at how price is developing and see if we can walk through some things and see if we can get some clear trade setups. But until then, y'all take it easy. Enjoy the beautiful weather that we are having right now. It is absolutely gorgeous outside. At least here where I am, it is gorgeous outside. Take advantage of being outside. Get off the charts. Close your phones. Delete your trading apps. Whatever the hell you got to do. Stay off the charts. Go have some fun. Let price breathe. Let price develop. Come back next trading day, Sunday, Monday, wherever that is for you. And we'll look to see how price is looking at that point. All right. All right, y'all. If there's anything that y'all want me to go over, anything you need further clarified, if there's anything you're not understanding, anything that's getting difficult for you to read, let me know. I will do my best to break that down for you guys. But until then, catch y'all on the next one. Peace.